Hello everyone, welcome to our second story on 1 Million Run Stories, and today I'm hosting
Joshua Matasi,
a renowned rugby player and currently a player at Impala Saracens, who is going to take us through his experiences as a rugby player and as a sportsman in the Kenyan arena, and his journey through sports and what it is he faces as a sports person, his highs, lows, and generally the whole experience. So Matasi, karibu sana. Let's have a seat and you take us through your journey.
Asante.
Yeah. Matasi.
Yeah.
Talk to me. How did your journey begin? Where did everything start from? Ulianzia wapi to where you are right now? Look through the journey, because most of us would like to really have a whole highlight of the stories. Benye ulianza, how, what inspired you, what you went through. No. Yeah.
Okay, so actually, initially, when my rugby story started in high school, yeah. When I joined Form 1, nikajua cheza hockey mbaya, kujadi na hockey stick. And then the first weekend, the school captain, alikuwa anaitwa Usuma, walks into the assembly, he commands respect, kila mtu ananyamaza. Na msako na masguembe, the guy is built bana. So at that point, I joined the school captain. So from there, as with my friend called Yujo, kambiana, by the time tumalize Form 4, nataka kwa umse. Because ameingia watu walikuwa rowdy, kukatulia tu. So aka unrespect. So Monday, the following week, plans are hockey outside. Started rugby. Through high school, I wasn't fortunate enough. Ups and downs, being asked from the squad, but kept on training. I remember even at some point, there was a deputy school captain who was telling me, hey, you've been wasting time from Form 1 training and you don't make the team. Why don't you give up? But fortunately, things opened up after high school. Got called to the under 19 national team, and later on under 20.
Guys, this guy has played for the national team. He has played for the Kenya under 19 and he has been there for 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was in one of the best schools in the country. Kindly tell them what school you are in.
Strike out to Alliance. Okay, but for a fact, tulikuwa Vasendo School.
Yeah. The only school at the equator. And that was his introduction to his rugby journey. And an interesting fact is we were in the same team. I was also a rugby player. I still am, but on leave. And interesting enough, his journey, from one thing you can learn from him, that you should never give up on yourself. Because yeye mse tuko high school hakuichezea shule, but then he came out here akamake Kenya under 20s.
Manze, you remember uli join rugby after mimi bana, make team.
Life ina formula. You just have to believe in yourself and work through things. Now say sikiza Kenya anakuambia, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah, because who knew, like right now Matasi will be on his way to playing for the Kenya team. Unaona?
Sure.
Yeah, like because at that time to go Form 4, Matasi is not playing, he's not on the team, and it's like you are wasting your time. Like it was and that time everyone has a reason to like believe you're wasting your time.
Daro pia ilikuwa noma kiasi.
Yeah, pia mafans wanaona kama waangusha. Technically kwanga, if you're a sports person kwanga behind you. And they're really there. So ukikosa kucheza wako so disappointed, mwaangusha, niko mwaangusha, the pressure of being a sports person. But then the beauty of life. Right now I'm here covering your story, and you're on your way, inshallah, to being in the Kenya 15s.
And in high school I was your fan, now you're my fan.
And maybe you might end up being teammates again. Who knows?
Maybe Constance.
Banter, challenge accepted. But then now, so Matasi, take us through your life as a sports person. What it really feels to be a semi-pro sports person here in Kenya, because in Kenya you can't really be a fully professional person. But now take us through your journey as a sports person and the experiences and what it takes to be there?
Well, first of all, it's not easy to be a to be a sports person, especially in our country, and especially in rugby, because it's not fully professional yet. So you can't rely on sports only. You have to juggle your things around. Actually,
you also have to balance your professional life, because rugby is not your only source of income.
Exactly, and especially right from high school, you had academic is the core thing.
Yeah, the core thing.
So first of all, you have to balance from back then your academics and your sports. Then outside here, also you have to pursue your academics, and then and there are also other life issues. But one thing I can say, being a sports person helps regardless of the discipline. It instills some responsibility and discipline in an individual, because you have to plan accordingly how you'll juggle, and there's that sense of responsibility for you to be able to maneuver around all those aspects.
Because having been in sports, for me, actually understand it really takes a lot.
Yeah, sure.
And it's kind of like a tough love affair, or that toxic love where you can't quit, but you have to keep going because you love doing what you do. You love doing what you do.
Yeah.
And I know there are so many challenges that you come across. Like you have to plan your academics. You have to plan your social life. If you're in a relationship, you also have to plan your relationship life. So there comes a lot of pressure with all that, balancing all those.
Yeah.
And it really takes somebody who's really determined and who's really out for it to play and to be a sports person, more so in this country and in Kenya. And how do you manage to go through it all? Because you've come from a point whereby you never played it in high school. You came out and became a Kenya international in the under-20 team, and then right now you are in the main team at Impala Saracens. How do you manage to keep going and handling all that?
Well, personally, my own personal story, to me, sports is like a drug. Because back then, I had so many issues, so many things going on at home.
Understand.
So whenever, for the 2 hours of training that I'm on the pitch, everything just goes away. You become like you're in your own world. You become, there's some good space, positive energy all around. So it's like a drug. So it became hard for me to live, because it was giving me some hope in life. So apparently up to date, when I just have some sense towards training, because whether you are stressed up, you pour all your energy into training. So balancing is quite hard, because at times, like back then when we were in the age grade national team, we are training very early in the morning. So our sessions will start at 6. So if you come from far, like personally, I had to wake up by 4:30 in order to start.
Guys, can you wake up at 4:30 for something you love? Can you? I know some of you can't even wake up at 4:30 to receive a call from your bae, but that shows you what sports really is and what goes into sports.
Yeah, so like adapt to get up early, prepare, so that I'll be at the training ground by 6. Now it's an intensive training in the morning. So when you start your day, you're already fatigued. You have class, you have to do some muscles to get money.
But I understand as a sports person.
So especially the class bit, you might end up dozing off, nini. So by the time your day starts at 8, you're already fatigued, and you have quite a lot on your page. So you have to somehow hack through it.
Definitely, you'll have to hack through it, because if you're going to school or somebody's going to work, you have to work your way through it. Because the society doesn't care if you are playing or if you are training at 6. They don't care. They want to see you doing whatever you're doing.
Exactly.
Because your parents needs to see you performing academically. Your employer needs to see you being at work on time and doing what you're supposed to be doing. So take us through that.
And actually, just as you said, nobody takes, okay, sports shouldn't be an excuse for not doing anything well. So, and nobody tolerates that. Nobody cares why you woke up that early to go train. Well, I think the difference between a sports person and a normal person, after putting all those hours of work, when it pays off, you feel some sort of achievement, some sort of satisfaction, self-satisfaction. I think that's what keeps every sportsman going. So somehow you have to you have to find a way to work regardless.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, because there's light at the end of the tunnel. You believe that all the work you're doing is not for, it doesn't go to waste. So I think that just gives you the motivation. Through thick and thin, you must make it through.
Because I understand as a semi-pro, which translates into pro player here in Kenya, and you play for Impala Saracens as a major club, which is a very big club in Kenya, and they want results from me also.
Yeah, sure.
Because there's always a season to be played. You also have to win. You also have fans who are coming. Like, for example, guys, for me, I don't care if my party woke up at 6. I want to go there on Saturday and see him winning, you know? So you find, like, that's how things are on the ground. So nobody really cares whether you woke up at 6 or whether you woke up at 4 or whether you are training at 7. That's what it feels to be like a sports person. And there's so many people who are looking up to you. Because, for example, mimi nikikuja hapo weekend kwa stanza pale Impala tuone game ya Queens Impala, your derby. By the guys, Impala versus Queens, it's like AFC versus Gor. It's a rivalry, and it's a derby. So unapata at that kind of moment kuna pressure, and pressure that only a sports person will understand, because nobody who has not been in sports will never understand that kind of pressure. But then all along you have to go and deliver, and Matasi, through those moments when the stadium is full of fans, and it's for them it's just any other day coming to watch a game, and they demand results. But for you, you know what you've put in, and you know how it's going to be. And tell us, how do you go through that as a player?
Okay, like personally, I remember the first time, the age grade experience really prepped me for some pressure, because at the international level, first of all, you go play outside. There's nobody you know apart from your teammates. The fans are against you. So, like, for the very first time, it was, you need some sort of mental stability, mental strength to go through, so that you don't succumb to the pressure. But I think over time, you adapt. The human body is built to adapt to what you face. Because coming back home, my first real experience with full of pressure, I got my first game as in the main team, in the Impala main team during the Floodlights 2018, and it was against Queens Derby.
And how old are you then?
Do I really recall? I think 19 or 20.
You are on your way to 20. You are 19 on your way to 20.
Yeah.
And that's a very young person to be playing in that kind of league.
Starting for the team, actually, I remember during warm-up I was quite tensed, until one senior player came and told me, "Hey, dude, just relax, have your game." And I think those words really encouraged me. I had my best game. I think the best debut you can ever have.
I actually remember being there. You were there. Me, those Jugen, Karenju.
Karenju, I remember.
Guys, those are our friends.
Even Malcolm was there.
Even Malcolm, Malcolm. Malcolm is a basketball player, and that tells you what the number of people who are looking up to him. And at that point, he was in a situation whereby he's feeling so much pressure, like intense pressure, and it's real pressure. But then for us out there, we were there to have fun and see him win.
And demanding for results.
Yeah, and demanding for results. Because as fans, you never want to see losing. You know, hata Romania utaki ku lose.
Sisi
The
hapa
moment
tujue.
tuna lose, utaki kujua ka Bruno alikuwa na shida mahali ama alikuwa ametoka home akaskipoa. Unataka kujua Manu ilishinda. Unaona? That's the scenario with sports. Nobody cares. People want results and people want to have fun.
Yeah, and I think not only sports, I think even everybody in their own space, they do face some sort of challenges, some sort of pressure moments. But I believe that's what builds us to greatness.
Yeah, and in that perspective, I actually feel, as a person who has been in sports, I actually feel like sports has the ultimate pressure. And if you have to watch like someone like Michael Jordan, that guy wasn't the best, but the way he had his mental space placed, it kept him above everyone else. He knew how to prepare for the games, he knew how to work hard, he knew how to put in all the efforts and push and inspire Chicago Bulls of the 1990s to win and also create a legacy of himself, which still lives up to this day. And even the Chicago Bulls legacy is still there. At this squeezy. Even despite them not winning currently, but the legacy that Michael Jordan put up for them is really last up to today. And even Michael Jordan himself, he really put NBA to a place whereby it's never been before his era, and it still stands up to today.
Sure.
And which just pushes us to really understand what sports is, because if you look at Michael Jordan, he wasn't the best, but he pushed himself to be the best.
And his teammates and those around him, because most sports, it's about a team, not an individual. Okay, apart from tennis, but also in tennis there's a team behind the player. Yeah,
there's a technical team.
Yeah, so you have to ensure that you instill positive energy to those around you as well as you yourself.
Yeah, and for that, and on that note, like currently, in the sports arena, and currently in the sports arena.
Yeah.
Like right now, since you've been through that. Actually, you're not done. You're just starting because you're in your early 20s.
Yeah.
And what do you look for? Right now, you really understand how the systems work, and at least now you're at a better place of handling the situation, the pressure, and all that. What do you look forward
to? That's a big call. Well, personally, I always look up to setting up a good platform for those who are coming up. Because personally, coming through, starting from the academy, coming up, like the example I told you before that Queen's game, it was actually Oliech who came.
Samuel H.
Yeah, Samuel H. And at that moment, that's someone you view very highly. And then they come, give you just a word, that's enough. But I believe more than a word goes a long way in nurturing people and changing lives. So my personal aim at the moment is not only for myself, but to ensure that anybody who's trying to get up gets the proper guidance, and basically proper guidance through not only sports and also in life, because I've also received the same actually by the senior players at Impala. So just to continue that.
And I suppose that really helped you to be where you are, because I remember being with you and guys were in the same classroom, and I remember that time, like when Matasi didn't make it to the final squad because of various reasons here and there, because that's something that can really take you down as a person, both mentally and at that point we were so young actually. We didn't really know, and that was his first. That could have been his first shot at life in rugby, and at the main stage, but it didn't go that way, and it really takes a lot as a person to rise from that point to where he is right now, and just one thing: never to give up in life, and never really to listen to what people have to tell you, unless it's positive or it's encouragement. Because who knew? Like today you'd be in the main team at Impala Saracens. Because I remember that time to high school, you're like, hey, don't catch the Impala. Whoa, that guy.
Even playing the second team,
like it was a big thing.
Yeah.
But then now here you are in the main team. Now, and right now you're the people at the core of Impala at the moment. And obviously in the next like 2-3 years you'll be now the main guys, like the main guys holding Impala and holding the brand as Impala Saracens. Yeah. So all aside from that, as a rugby player or as a sports person, what do you feel like needs to be changed in this country about sports?
Well, okay, as I said before, I think that nurturing goes a long way. I think not every senior player tries to nurture the upcoming ones. So it creates a vicious cycle where there's lack of support from your own teammates initially, because you find in some instances there's a lot of discrimination between the senior and young players. So that's from home, from the team level. I think that really needs at home. Yes, charity starts at home. So we first need to support each other. Even a simple word goes a long way. Then also I think from a management perspective, I think transparency goes a long way.
And the handling of the players' welfare and all that.
Exactly. Actually, that builds up to the welfare. Actually, welfare I think is the most important aspect for a sports person, because you have to go through a lot. At times, most people, at times there's a teammate of yours who doesn't even have food
or even fair to
come for training. Yet the club might be in a position to provide, but doesn't. So the welfare really affects a player's state of mind.
So from a general point of view, like the clubs in this country really need to step up their game and improve their welfare of players, and really take the players' welfare into serious consideration.
Yeah,
because a lot goes into turning in as a player, and so I believe as a sports person, if the welfare is well taken care of, the results will be very good.
Yeah, because the players will be in the right frame of mind. Well, we can't ignore the fact that also most of our clubs are, not all of them are financially stable, but still I think there's something that can be done.
They can do something about it.
Yeah, just to show, to appreciate the players, just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And currently in this country, what will be a word to any sports person who is in the same space as you are in, like in their early 20s, now starting to settle down in the big stage? What will be a parting shot to them?
Well, I think I'd like to say that there's more to life than sports. I heavily believe in diversification. So apart from sports, because in sports you can get a career-threatening injury and your story will be done. So you need to have something on the side to keep you going. Don't rely on sports alone, especially in our country.
And then whereby there are no systems. When you're playing, everyone's on your side. When you get injuries or you stop playing, something happens to you, you're on your own.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then on that note, what do you think should be done to improve the players' management in terms of injuries, in terms of life after rugby or life after sports?
Well, personally, I as opposed to many sports people who say, hey, the guy was a great player, but the government can't help him after he retires. Personally, I believe that's a wrong notion, and that everybody needs to plan their life accordingly. Because when you look at all those cases, who mostly, I'm not talking badly of soccer players, but most cases are from soccer players who you get somebody was a legend, but now they're living miserable lives. But when you look back during their time, their prime years,
they were legends.
They had access to capital, to money, but they squandered.
To the podium, to the platform.
Yeah.
To
so
themselves up.
Yeah, because like for soccer, why can't you say the same about let's say JJ Masiga, who is also a great. Yeah. Because it goes down to the own personal initiative of a player to plan their lives accordingly.
The ethics and their own self-initiative.
Yeah.
Because currently, I'd really like to feature one person who is a great rugby player, and I know all of you know him. He's called Colin Sinjera. He's still playing, actively playing, but even before he's done with sports, you can see he's already creating a name for himself, a platform. Like, you can't really go anywhere and mention Injera and nobody doesn't know him, whether locally or internationally. And that's a guy who's currently playing for the Kenya Sevens, and he's number 2. He was the top try scorer in the World 7 series in 2016, and currently he's the second top try scorer in the World Series, and specifically the World 7 series. And you look at him most people look at him as an icon, because he's a guy who has managed to balance his life, and I think most players look up to him, whether you're a rugby player, whether you're a soccer player, or whatever sports you play. Like, he can be a great example to you. If you don't know him, I don't know how to help you, but you can look up for him, because everybody knows Injera.
Who doesn't know Injera?
Yeah, who doesn't know Injera? Not Injera, actually. Actually, Injera, because every time you can't keep blaming the system of this, because the world out here is red pill and it's tough.
And also, I think we like blaming things. It goes back to my point of nurturing at the team level.
Yeah.
Because once you get the right role models from your team,
yeah,
who guide you through, especially as young players. So tunapenda sherehe sana. We like madem sherehe. So any money you get, you want to focus there. Before you realize you are getting old, you haven't planned your life, you haven't done so and so. Then you start blaming the government to help you for such a case. It goes back a long way, and I think so far, okay, for us at Impala, I think we have a good culture for where we try to be close with the upcoming players. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm also an upcoming players, but the senior players are.
You're the link between the senior players and the younger players.
Exactly, and I think that really helps, because you get to realize that you need to plan your life accordingly. Okay, I'm not saying that I've planned accordingly, but I'm slightly, yeah.
And then now, as we finish, Matasi,
yeah,
tell us how sports has helped you, or how sports has added value to your life and to you as an individual.
Okay. First of all, I think sports has helped me develop some values and some sort of discipline in whatever I do. Regardless of, I have some shortcomings in the way I operate, but I think there are some, I would have been way worse than yeah, because like the work ethic, hard work. I think you recall in the academy we had some core values that we had to, we had to go by, and discipline and hard work was one of them.
That was that time by Coach Abok.
By Coach Abok, yeah. Yeah, so I think I can't judge myself, but I think most people I've worked with, they comment on my work ethic whenever I settle down to something, and they can attribute it to sports, and majorly some sort of discipline and some sort of responsibility. You have to own up, because I believe when you're playing, you get to make split-second decisions.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
And those split-second decisions, they matter a lot.
Yeah, and you have to own up whether it goes wrong or right.
Yeah.
So I think, and that demands for some sort of responsibility. Yeah. So I think that's what I can say I majorly embraced from my time playing, and then the importance of teamwork, because you can't be good alone. You have to also help those around you, so that you can be able to achieve your common goal.
Okay. So guys, that was it for today. I decided to host my former teammate, schoolmate, and rugby mate, and also a very good friend of mine. Oh, and by the way, guys, he's very good at barbecuing ama ni kuchoma nyama.
Barbecue watu wanasema si ni cool kids.
Yeah, wanasema si ni cool kids.
Kuchoma nyama choma hapo ni
Yeah.
nini?
So if you're into this kind of stuff, you can reach out to him. He knows the ways around. And then he's also a very good businessman. For those who would be interested in business, you can kindly contact us via DM. And then personally, as a person who has been in sports, I think also me, sports has really helped me in my work ethic and how I go about my business and everything. And then sports actually teaches you not to have excuses for your own shortcomings. You always have to be responsible and accountable for your actions, whether they were good or bad. It teaches you that, and for that reason, I believe like this in this country, we should express sports as a good thing, and not shun it as a negative or a bad thing or something that's wastage of time. And people should embrace sports because sports gives you a platform. Even if you don't go ahead to being a sportsman or an athlete, it gives you the core values of what you really need to do and how to handle life. Yeah. And thank you guys. I hope to see you next time.
Adios.